Okay, guys, we're ready? Today, we're reading from this book. It's a Marvel storybook collection. I had a few people message me for hero stories or pirates. So, I decided to go with this for today. We'll see how we get on. So, we'll go in this one's called What Goes Up Must Come Down. That's gravity, everybody. Okay, you ready? Are you sitting comfortable? Okay, I'm gonna start. One sunny morning in New York, Captain America decided to visit the Statue of Liberty. But time off doesn't last long when you're an Avenger, and he soon found himself called to action by the sound of screams. "Look over there!" a tourist shouted, pointing across the water to Manhattan. Bicycles, cars, and even people were flying in the air. Whoa. No bridge connected Liberty Island to the rest of Manhattan, and Cap didn't have time to wait for the next ferry. Using his communicator, he contacted his good friend and fellow Avenger, Falcon. That's the guy who can fly. He's really cool. Falcon, I like Falcon. "Where to, Cap?" asked the winged hero, carrying Captain America across the water. "Times Square, Falcon. I'm guessing the rest of the Avengers could possibly use our help," Cap replied. Captain America was right. The Avengers had their hands full, trying to rescue people from the strange change in gravity. As tourists floated into the sky, Hawkeye shot arrows attached to nets and anchored people to the tops of lampposts. Meanwhile, Hulk used his incredible strength to keep a bus filled with people from drifting into the air. Can you see that? Look at all that. That's crazy. That's madness. Something going on there. The airborne members of the Avengers did their part to save people too. "This is madness," shouted Iron Man. "We can't rescue everyone." "But that won't stop us from trying," replied Captain America as he and Falcon arrived on the scene. "What or who could be behind this?" asked Falcon. "This seems most familiar," said Thor. "Perhaps it's the work of... dun dun dun, who is it?" Before Thor could finish, the face of the evil scientist, Graviton, appeared on one of Times Square's giant video screens. "People of New York," the speakers blurred, "I am Graviton. I do not wish to harm you. I seek only those costume do-gooders who sent me to prison. The Avengers! Oh no, not the Avengers!" Graviton had once been a brilliant scientist named Franklin Hall. An accident had given him control over gravity, which was why he had renamed himself Graviton. The Avengers had stopped him many times in the past. Now he had escaped from prison and was out for revenge. "My demands are simple," Graviton continued. "Either the Avengers surrender themselves to me at noon today, or I will send the island of Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty into space." "Noon," Graviton repeated, "and not a minute later." With that, the screens went blank, and gravity slowly returned to normal. Well, that's okay. Hopefully the people will be safe. "We can't surrender," explained Hawkeye. "Graviton will just take us prisoner and go ahead with his plans anyway." Iron Man agreed. "You're right. We can't trust Graviton, but he'll do tremendous harm if we don't give him what he wants." The armored Avengers paused. "I have a plan," he said at last. "We can't surrender, but you can." Iron Man pointed at Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. At noon, Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow surrendered to Graviton, who used his powers to keep everyone else from coming near them. "I never thought any of you would surrender," he gloated, then added, "but embarrassing the Avengers was just the beginning." I wonder what he's planning next. "The real prize is the $1 billion ransom I'll get for the island of Manhattan," Graviton continued. Suddenly, The Avengers felt the ground lurch beneath them, and the entire island of Manhattan floated in the air. To the south of the city, the Statue of Liberty rose off its base. Cap threw his shield at the villain, knocking him unconscious. As quickly as Manhattan had risen, it started to drop. Luckily, Iron Man's plan was already working. Graviton was boasting so much, he never saw your shield coming, Black Widow said. Thor, Iron Man, Graviton is down. You're up. High in the sky, the mighty Thor whirled his Asgardian hammer, Mjolnir, over his head, summoning storm clouds and creating an enormous rainstorm. I shall not let you down, he told Black Widow. Creating storms such as this is child's play. The wind and the rain shall raise the sea level, slowing the Isle of Manhattan's fall back to Earth. Suddenly, Iron Man interrupted on his communicator. As long as I do the hard part, Iron Man said, laughing. He flew at high speed in circles around the island, turning Thor's storm waters into a cushion on which he could gently lower the island back into place. We're all going to have a lot of repair work to do when this is over, Tony, Cap told his fellow Avenger. Speaking of repairs, added Iron Man, Falcon, how's Lady Liberty? Not to worry, Falcon replied. She's holding up just fine, but you might want to hurry. Hulk had leapt to Liberty Island just in time to prevent the statue from smashing into the ground beneath it. Hulk groaned, straining under the weight, but not letting any harm come to the symbol of freedom. He shouted, Other Avengers better come fix Lady Statue soon. Hulk loved to smash, but Hulk hate lifting. See him there lifting up got the statue on the foot. And then we got the next story, that's Party Crashers. So that's the end of that story. That was cool, huh? It was exciting. We had lots of things going on there. And the Avengers managed to save the day. They always save the day. They're pretty cool. Let me see here. What's the next one? Party Crashers. We can do that. Okay, shall we go ahead and we'll do Party Crashers? That's okay. See if there's anybody else on here. Okay. If I start, if anybody pops on, if you say hello. If I don't see it, it's just because I'm reading, but I'll try and say hello after. That's okay. We got Party Crashers. Are we ready? Okay. Billionaire inventor and scientist Tony Stark, better known as Iron Man, was hosting the annual Stark Expo. Scientists from around the world had gathered at his office in New York City to unveil their latest inventions. This was their chance to show the scientific community what they had been working on. Tony was leading the conference, but he was not alone. He had brought the Avengers with him. Tony knew that so much technology in one place was sure to attract attention, and he wanted to make sure that none of the scientists or their inventions fell into the wrong hands. With so many brilliant people working together, Tony Stark told his guests, I know that we can make the world a better place. And so, I would like to... Suddenly, Tony was interrupted by a booming voice at the other end of the hall. These scientists and their inventions now belong to the master of evil. Uh-oh. The scientist gasped and turned around. Standing across the room were four of the most dangerous supervillains in the world. Baron Zemo, he's a bad guy. Ultron, he's a really bad guy. The Enchantress, she's crazy. And Claw. Each one was tough, but when they worked together as the masters of evil, they were almost unstoppable. Captain America sprang into action. The superhero launched himself at Baron Zemo, knocking the villain back with his unbreakable vibranium shield. See that there? Cap's great. He's really good with that shield. "Tony, suit up!" Cap yelled, then turned to the rest of his team. He cried, "Avengers, assemble!" Oh, I've always wanted to say that. I never get to say that. Tony called his Iron Man hammer to him. The pieces flew through the air and attached themselves to his body. Iron Man wasted no time firing his repulsors. He blasted a hole in the side of the wall for the scientists to escape through. But before he could yell to them, a high-pitched sound blasted through the expo. Look at that. Look at that. Look at his suit. You see it coming in? Flies in and sticks to him. That's really cool when he does that. I like that. Claw was using sound waves to stop the scientists from escaping. The high-pitched waves caused them to fall to the ground in pain. Iron Man had heard enough. "Can you play any other tunes?" he asked. Iron Man fired a repulsor blast at Claw that sent him crashing to the ground, and the horrible sound stopped. On the other side of the expo, the Enchantress rose into the air, looking around the room. She quickly focused her attention on a group of frightened scientists. The Enchantress laughed. She knew that her magic was powerful, but with the help of the scientist technology, she would be unstoppable. Oh no! Lifting her hand, the Enchantress fired an energy blast at the scientists, but her powers were blocked by Thor and his mighty hammer, Mjolnir. The energy bounced off the hammer and rebounded back to the Enchantress. "Return thee to Midgard!" the Asgardian warrior yelled. The Enchantress laughed again and created a projective shield around herself. The shield deflected the energy, leaving her unharmed. "I will leave Earth only with these scientists as my prisoners," she hissed. Told you, she's bad. She's crazy. "Not today," a voice yelled from behind. It was Black Widow. The Enchantress's protective shield may have been powerful against magic, but it could not stop pure physical force. Black Widow delivered a powerful blow to the unsuspecting villainess, knocking her out cold. With the villainess out of the way, Black Widow turned to see where else she could be of help. Across the room, the scientists ran for the exit, but they did not get far. Ultron and his terrible robots were blocking the way. Black Widow tried to get to the scientists, but there were too many robots. "Hawkeye!" she called. Hawkeye lifted a special electric arrow from his quiver and fired it at one of the robots, causing it to short out. "Get to the exit!" he yelled to the scientists. See, the Avengers are too good, they're strong. The scientists fled to the other side of the room, all but one. Dr. Bruce Banner stood beside Hawkeye, taking in the situation around him. "You know," Hawkeye called over his shoulder as he drew and fired another arrow, "we could really use the big guy's help right now." "Who's that? Who do you think the big guy is?" Focusing his energy, Bruce let his rage flow freely. Suddenly his hands and feet began to grow bigger. His shoulders grew wider, and his shirt tore off his back. Bruce let out an angry roar, but he wasn't Bruce anymore. He was the Incredible Hulk. "Hulk smash!" Hulk roared. With a mighty swing of his arm, he knocked over 3 of Ultron's robots. Look at this guy. You don't realize how big the Hulk actually is. He's massive. Ultron was not going down without a fight. Raising his arms, he commanded his robotic army to attack Hulk. The robots charged and blasted Hulk. It looked like the Green Goliath was outmatched, until Iron Man, Falcon, and Thor joined the fight. "You're the perfect example of technology gone bad," Iron Man yelled to Ultron as he fired one repulsor blast after another. Look at these guys, they're all helping out there. All helping out the Hulk. We all stick together. What we all gonna do. On the contrary, I am the perfect example of technology, the villain replied, and his robotic minions attacked the Avengers. Ultron snuck off to join the other Masters of Evil. Baron Zemo, Ultron, Clor, and the Enchantress regrouped in the center of the expo. The Avengers are formidable adversaries, Baron Zemo began. If they will not let us leave with the scientists, then we will destroy the entire expo. Prepare for our escape. I will set the explosives. What are they gonna do? Not so fast, a voice yelled behind them. The villains turned. Much to their surprise, they saw the scientists and their technology blocking their escape. You're not going anywhere, a familiar voice called out from the opposite side of the room. It was Captain America and the Avengers. The superheroes and the scientists had the supervillains surrounded. There was nowhere left for them to go, and nothing left for them to do but surrender. After S.H.I.E.L.D. took away the Masters of Evil, the Stark Expo restarted over, and Iron Man addressed the crowd. Our future depends on science and technology, and with all of us working together, like we just did today, I know that we can make the world a better place. And I know that the Avengers and all of you will always be there to protect it. Wow, that's another great story. This is a good book. See you later, guys. Stay safe. Keep slinging those webs.